Hi, welcome to video number 1 in the e-course series of Cosmic Companions. I'm Jamie Kale Miller of Pandora Astrology, and this time we're going to be looking at the very first sign of the zodiac and its planetary ruler. That sign is Aries, that planet is Mars. And I've got a sample chart to show you, but as you can see, let me share my screen. I've got the name blocked out because I want the fun of a reveal. So this is the chart of a famous athlete, and there's a reason for that. There's a reason why I chose a chart like that. Mars and the sign Aries is the archetypal hero in you, the warrior, the pioneer, the athlete, the driven, archetypally male, forceful, willful side of you that knows what you want and where you want to go in life, and is willing to go after it. Some people may feel, you may be one of those people who feels that you don't know what you want, or that you don't have any will, or that you don't have any drive or self-determination, but let me tell you, Mars is in your chart somewhere. It's just a matter of finding it and figuring out what it needs in order to do its thing. I have a very firm belief that everything in your chart is here to do something good for you. It's not just here to bring you challenges or bad karma or fate. It's here on a mission to bring something good into your life. And Mars's mission is that you shall know what you want and go after it. So when looking for a sample chart for this, I wanted to find the chart of a really standout athlete, because I figured that I would find a prominent Mars in that chart, and I was not disappointed. This individual is a young male with Mars in the first house. And you got to know, when you want to be an athlete, getting yourself born with Mars rising is a great way to do it. Having Mars in the first house, the house where Mars is the most comfortable and at home, is going to make this a standout trait. So this will be a person who has a lot of heroic nature, who has a forceful, driven personality, who has to get out there and move his body around, who needs to take action. This person may also be prone to impulsivity, going off half-cocked, going down a bad path. Certainly that can happen, and then having to correct course. I'm just going to go ahead and show you who this is. This is the chart of Michael Phelps, by anyone's measure, a standout athlete. And it's really, really interesting to me. I'm going to change this color to red so that I can circle Mars. Whoa, is that a wide line? Let's make it, there we go. Here's Mars, the action hero, placed in the first house. And if we go over to the key, you can see that the first house is the house of identity. This is the house where things placed in it, this is the stuff that people see right on you as soon as they meet you. It's a house of transparency, of visibility. Anything in this house is a side of you that's front and center. So Michael Phelps, first and foremost, is an athlete and identifies as such. And we know this because of his Mars in the first house. Mars is strengthened by being in the first house. Any planet would be, but Mars in particular is. And it's really, I think it's really fun that Mars is in a water sign. Notice that it's in the sign of Cancer, which is marked in blue. And do you remember when we drew these symbols here, I used blue as the color of water, which is what I do in a chart. Here's a pile of things in Cancer in his chart, pile of things in Scorpio. These are water signs. He's actually got a fairly watery nature. That means that he is an emotional person. He is a sensitive person. He is a caring person, even a nurturer in some ways. But this prominent Mars says that he is first and foremost an athletic force of nature to be reckoned with. Now, when I was reading on Wikipedia about Michael Phelps, it said that he has had some run-ins with substances, with alcohol, with drugs. And it's not surprising for two reasons. One is because he does have such a watery nature. And I know I'm kind of getting far afield here, but this is so interesting, I just had to share it with you. He has a very watery nature, and that is hard for men to cope with, because in modern American culture, and really in most cultures around the world, emotional boys are toughened, are hardened before they become men. And so a boy, as Michael was, who is very emotional, is going to have to figure out how to manage all those emotions. Many, many men who have a lot of water, strong water influence in their chart, grow up to have some challenges with alcohol or substances because they're still trying to figure out how to manage their emotions and often feel overwhelmed by them. So any way that one can control them can be very appealing. So we can understand why that would be. His Mars is also in a trine. A trine means it's 1/3 of the way from his south node in Scorpio. And just to kind of give you a little fun hint of some things to come further along in my e-courses, his south node tells us something about past lives. South node in Scorpio says past lives that were very dramatic, very loaded with emergency, with intense experience, possibly with experience with addictions and compulsions. And he may still feel the tug of that past life experience in this life, even as he moves forward into his, athletic present. So anyway, we should stop there because I know that was a lot for you to take in just the very first video, but I'm already having fun with you, and I hope that you're having fun with me. And now I want to leave you with some Mars questions that you can take into your own chart. And these are going to be the keys that you use to unlock your own athletic nature. When you go to your own chart, look for the Mars symbol. Look for what sign is it in, because here's a principle that we're going to return to again and again. The sign that a planet is in is like its food. Feed a planet according to the sign that it's in. Give it that stuff, and it can thrive. It can do its mission for you. For him, it's the sign of Cancer. So he needs emotional intelligence, he needs nurturing, he needs caring, and he needs to understand self-care and how to manage his own sensitive nature. So you can use the key, the ever-famous key to the symbols of astrology, and look up the sign that your Mars is in, and ask yourself these questions. How do I access my athleticism? How do I get myself to work out? How do I get myself to move? How do I access my drive, my energy, my force, my vitality? How do I wake myself up in life? How do I express anger? How do I hold the line, hold a boundary? And how do I go after what I really, really want? And the sign that Mars is in will tell us something about the answers to those really important questions in your life. It will take you a lifetime to answer all those questions, but now that you have the questions, you can begin to put the key into the lock to understand how you follow what you want and how you know what it is in the first place. Well, this has been really fun, but I gotta go now. Join me again tomorrow in your inbox, same time, same station, for a look at the sign of Taurus, which covers food, body, and money, and that will be super interesting. If you're loving this e-course already and you want to know more and you're intrigued, you should go to my website, pandoraastrology.com, and yes, there are 2 A's in the middle of that, /classes, where you can join a course for real and learn a lot more about Mars and everything else in your chart. Okay, ta-ta. I'll see you tomorrow.